welcome to Whip It Up with Devin. My name is Devin Williams, and on this episode, we're going to be making herb roasted chicken, collard greens, and candied yams. But before I jump into that, I just wanted to kind of talk about why I do this and why I created this show. I do this show for millennials. So many of my friends will comment on pictures I post. When I make food, I will post the pictures on either Snapchat or Instagram or Facebook, and people will comment, "Oh my gosh, that looks so good. Teach me how to make that," or "How'd you do that? Are you in culinary school?" And I'm like, no, I'm not in culinary school. This is just what I do. I love to cook. I enjoy it. For me, it's like therapy. And there's no right or wrong way to do it, and I think that's what my generation feels. They feel like there's a right or a wrong way to do it, and they're afraid to jump into it. I don't want you all to be afraid to jump into this, because cooking is so much fun. It's really not that hard. Once you learn the basics, you can pretty much do anything. And this meal that I'm making today is something that I've never made before, so I'm going to experience this all with you. I'm going to make mistakes throughout the process. My meal might not come out tasting good. It might look good, but it might not taste good. But that's what I'm trying to figure out. That's why I do this cooking show, is to inspire my generation to get in the kitchen. Like I said, today we're going to be making herb roasted chicken, collard greens, and candied yams. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start off with are my collard greens. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up an onion, and I'm going to put it in my oil, which is also, the oil's in my pot that I'm going to use to cook the collard greens. And I'm also going to chop up some garlic. So what I've done now is I let my onion and garlic kind of do its thing, saute a little bit, and then I added in a little bit of chicken broth and water. So for my chicken, I'm going to use oregano and rosemary, fresh. Can you smell that? My rosemary. I'm going to just pull the leaves off of the stem here. Another thing that I wanted to tell you all was that a lot of, like, my processes for a lot of things come from, I don't want to say my processes, but like the basic how to do things, I get that offline. I look on Pinterest, or I look on the internet, and I just search like how to make collard greens, or how to make candied yams, or how to make, what else are we making? Herb roasted chicken. Like, I just type that stuff up online. Like, that doesn't make you a bad cook because you have to look online for the recipes. Majority of people look online for their recipes. Like, our families, like our mother, grandmothers, like, they at one point, they probably didn't have it online, but they at one point had to look somewhere for a recipe. They looked in their Betty Crocker books. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And then you doctor it and make it how you want to make it. So, you know, if Betty Crocker says add this ingredient, you might add that and something else. Or you might not use that ingredient. You might substitute that for something else. So that doesn't make you a bad cook because you go on Pinterest to find recipes for things. I do it all the time. And then I kind of just add my own little twist to it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be, like, embarrassed about. Because you have to start somewhere. That's like saying you know everything. Like, how can you take the test if you ain't studied for it? How can you take the test if you didn't read the book? How can you give a presentation if you haven't studied it or done the work behind it? Like, this is my first time making collard greens. How am I supposed to know how to make collard greens if I didn't look it up? So, like, that's really one of the things that I do. So with this rosemary, I'm going to roll it up. And I saw this online, by the way. They roll it up, and then they cut it like so. You can get fresh rosemary from anywhere. You can get it from Kroger or Walmart. Well, I don't know. I would think Walmart, over where the greens are, or the green vegetables are. I would think you can get it at Walmart too. But if not, you can always get like a can or a jar, like how you get garlic and stuff. you can always get like a jar of it already cut up and everything ready for you to just use it. And by the way, like, I would love for you all to leave your comments, or, you know, if you all have any advice or an opinion about something. You know, if you don't have any comments about something that I made, or you have any questions or concerns, please leave your comments, and I have no problem answering. Okay, so I put my greens in my pot, and I put a lid over it. And the reason I put the lid over it is just because it made sense to me to do that. So you don't have to if you don't want to. But for my chicken, I am going to put, I already washed this chicken, and this chicken was frozen, and I let it defrost for about 2 hours in cold water. So now I'm going to put some olive oil all over. Now I'm going to just rub this olive oil in. Before I do that, I'm going to add in my salt. And I put my salt, it's a nice amount of salt. I put my salt, all my seasonings in these containers, just because I don't want to touch the chicken and then touch the containers of the seasoning and then spread all that chicken stuff we shouldn't be spreading. Okay, and now I'm going to add my rosemary. I got this alert saying I'm 20% battery. My rosemary and my oregano. And I'm just gonna rub this in here like this. I put 4 cloves of garlic in here, and I chopped up about half onion and put it in the bottom. Then I also put some olive oil in the bottom of it. Now I'm going to take some chicken broth and put it in the bottom. And I'm just going to kind of put a little bit on top. I also have a lemon that I'm going to just squeeze a little bit of it on top. And then I'm going to put it in there. And then I'm going to squeeze a little bit more of the other one on top. And just put it in there in my dish. And then this is going to go into the oven. Now, when I looked online, it said that this will go into the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour. On the pack, it said 2 hours, so I'm going to check in about 45 minutes to an hour, see where it's going, how it's doing. And I also put olive oil. I learned this trick online as well. If you put olive oil or butter on the top of it, that's what helps your chicken to crisp and look beautiful and perfection. So I'm going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees and for about 45 minutes. My greens are over here cooking and doing their thing. They have wilted down, and now I'm going to season them after I put my chicken in the oven. So I just talked to my mom about, because I was just curious, like, how is it that, you know, our parents know how to cook, and they know how to clean, and they know how to, you know, do all of those things. And she just explained to me that when she was in high school, they had a course called home economics, and home economics was a requirement. They had to pass that to graduate high school. Just like the guys had, I think she said, engineering, and the men had to pass engineering. That's how most dads know how to, or I think that's engineering, work around the house. I don't know. But a lot of those things were essentials, things that you had to learn in order to graduate high school. So my mom was telling me that they had to learn how to keep a house, basically. So cook and clean and you know, have Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas and just keep a house. And so we don't have that. At least I didn't have that in my school. My desire to cook was just because I grew up watching the Rachel Ray cooking show. But we don't all have that. And so it's up to us to take that back. We will teach ourselves home economics. We have Pinterest. Hello, and social media. And YouTube. All of you are subscribing. Your parents and grandparents didn't have this. Okay? So we have an edge up, kind of. but we have to go out and get it. Like, if you want to be a wife and a mother, you're going to have to learn how to cook. Of course, unless your husband can cook and then you got it good. You don't have to cook and clean. But for me personally, that part, that excites me because it's me being a woman, it's me being a wife, it's me being a mother, it's me taking care of a home. And these are just things that we can learn now. And even if you don't want to be a wife and a mother, you just want to be a career woman, you got to eat some way. Now, if you balling and you just got money to eat out all the time, then more power to you. You could just lead a show now because you don't even need to know how to do all this stuff. But it's, you know, it's your prerogative. So yeah, I've been cooking since I was 3 years old, and like I used to come up with these different concoctions. Like I would watch the Food Network channel, and my favorite show was the Rachel Ray Show. And I actually had a Rachel Ray cookbook that I got for Christmas. I think my sister gave it to me or my mom. I'm not sure. But I had a Rachel Ray cookbook, and I would always try and come up with these recipes on my own from watching like her shows. And so like I would put like chocolate and mayonnaise together and like some pasta or something like that, or I would put like tomatoes and like caramel, or I don't know, just like weird things like that. But I would always leave it. I would make them and then I would leave them in the refrigerator and go tell my family like, oh, I made something for you, like it's in the refrigerator, go try it. And my sister was actually telling someone this story a couple weeks ago, and she said that my dad would come downstairs and open the refrigerator, and it would be all these like dishes with plastic wrap around them of these different concoctions that I made. And he would open the refrigerator and be like, oh my gosh, what is all this food in here? And like he would like flip out. But they let me do it for like years. And then one day I made this Reese's Pieces, and so I got this little like this little dish, and so I put some Hershey's chocolate on the bottom of it, and then I put some peanut butter in the middle of it, and then I put Hershey's chocolate on top of the peanut butter, and then I put some coconut. Just being fancy, I put some coconut. So that was my coconut Reese's Pieces that I made, and I put it in the refrigerator. And my dad, like that day, my dad was sick of it. He was like, you know what? You want us to eat all your food? Why don't you eat your food? And so he made me sit there and eat all of this Reese's Pieces. And that is the day. Well, first off, that was the last day I ever made anything, and for a long time. Okay, and then second of all, that was the day I discovered that I do not like coconut. And to this day, I will not eat coconut because that coconut was disgusting. I haven't had coconut since then. Like, it was disgusting. And I was like crying, like, please don't make me eat this. And he was like, you better sit there and finish it. I was like, can I just take one more spoonful? Like, you know, when you have to eat your vegetables, just one more and I'm done, right? No, you better lick the bowl clean. I'm like, no, please don't. But yeah, he literally made me sit there and do that. And I think I stopped cooking for a little bit. And then when I started back cooking again, like I was making like real food. Like it came out of nowhere. So I've always loved to cook. Like it's just always been my thing. I've always found enjoyment from it. So yeah, that's my little break story. And I hope this gives you a little more confidence to get in the kitchen and do your thing. Come up with your own recipes. It's not that hard. So yeah, we'll see how it all tastes. Thank you so much. Thank you.